All right, let's take a look at this question about a contracting officer's signature. So let's read the question and see if we can extract out what it's asking. What information should be provided in addition to the contracting officer's signature on contracts and modifications? So to me, clearly the subject here is the contracting officer's signature, so I'm going to highlight that. And contracts and modifications is some descriptive factors in there that we may want to consider. Okay, so let's start our search here. So let's go over to the acquisition.gov search, and let's make sure we're searching the FAR, and let's search the DFARS and DFARS PGI. All right, and let's type in the search terms. So I guess we're going to start with contracting officer signature. That term right there. Let's start with contracting officer signature and see where that takes us. All right, search away. Let's see how many we get. All right, I got 10 results, and it looks like they are all revolving around the DFARS, specifically the PGI, but we do have a couple DFARS references here. But I don't have a single FAR reference, and so I can kind of eliminate the FAR from that standpoint. I don't have a single FAR reference, so unless I can't find my answer in the DFARS and maybe I need to restart my search, right now I feel safe to assume that the FAR is not involved in this question, but we'll see. It looks like the majority of things are talking about the PGI. A lot of reference to this PGI, but it is referencing the DFARS itself, so maybe we start there. Now again, I'm just recognizing that it's telling me I can search in DFARS 204.101, but I'm going to go to the DPC version of the DFARS to make sure I've got the official version, 204.101, so I'm going to do that. So I need to go down to 204.101. Here we are. And let me make that a little smaller so we can see if we have, okay, we have the actual HTML version, and we also have the PGI. So I'm going to bring both of those up. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to open this one up in a new tab. And up here at the top, you can see they're right here. So when I click on this, it's just going to take me right here. So I'm going to go there. Oh, it's pretty short. It says contracting officer signature, follow the procedures of the PGI for signature of contract documents. So this PGI is what is right here, and just to prove that to you, if I click on that, you can see that these two things are exactly the same, okay? But anyway, here's the PGI, and it says contracting officer signature. 1, include the contracting officer's telephone number and, when available, email, internet address on contracts and mods. Well, that sounds pretty familiar to my question. Let me just go back and read it. What information should be provided in addition to the contracting officer's signature on contracts and mods? So apparently this is talking about the contracting officer's signature, but it also says that we need to include the telephone number and email address and all that good stuff on contracts and mods. To me, that clearly answers the question, okay? And so this is kind of an interesting question because it's actually asking me a question, and so I'm going to go ahead and answer that. And the easiest way to answer that is probably just to copy and paste in what it says right here in the regulations, right? This is what it's telling me I need to include. Let me just turn that black here. So that's what I need to include, and now I'm going to say where I found that. I found that in DFARS PGI 204.101, and the paragraph was number, not A, was number 1. I'm going to verify that. So DFARS PGI 204.101, 1. Now I'm going to go to the final step. Does my answer truly address the specific question that was asked? Issue being research? Well, what do you guys think? Does it? I think it clearly does. I think the answer is pretty direct, and I think the question's pretty direct, and I think the answer is very clear that it meets the intent of that. We're clearly talking about the contracting officer's signature. If I go back through my breadcrumbs, I've checked the DFARS, which pointed to the PGI, and when I did my FAR search, the FAR was never came up in my results. It pointed to the DFARS and the DFARS PGI, and so since I searched those resources, I feel confident that this is the correct answer as well as the correct citation.